Lauren Betts is a two-time first-team All-American, Naismith Defensive Player of the Year, and the current Big Ten Player of the Year. But Lauren Betts is also an interesting human being. An interesting human being with a very interesting story. Prior to the Bruins making their second appearance in the Final Four in consecutive years, Lauren Betts released a story detailing her emotions and dealings with mental health. The 6'7" big from Spain details her dealings with mental health, her battles through depression, and her battles trying to be a young woman in the world with her article titled, "I Want to Be Here." In it, Lauren talks about her battles, her discovering the fact that she was not only just a tall woman, but also a tall woman that was very good at basketball, the insecurities that come with being such a highly touted basketball player, and also the emotional turmoil that can come with just figuring yourself out as a young person in this world. But more than anything, Lauren details how much she's overcome as a young woman dealing with depression, how she's been able to look at herself and reframe how others have seen her in her life, how she sees herself, and also how she affects young women. One of these young women happens to be somebody that I know. One, Katie.
I'm Katie. I am the president of the Lauren Betts fan club, obviously.
Katie isn't just an ordinary UCLA fan. She happens to be one of Lauren Betts' biggest fans.
But I've been editing Lauren for like a year or two now.
Katie said that she started her journey getting to learn Lauren through the U19 team, in which Lauren ended up winning a gold medal. Katie was also a fan of UCLA. She discovered her love for the Bruins around the time that Kiki Rice and Gabriela Jaquez were freshmen. Katie soon realized that her love for UCLA was real enough that she started editing the group.
So about a year ago, I think, I started editing UCLA. I'd already been editing. I think I've edited for around 4 years now. But I started editing UCLA because I was like, nobody edits them, and like, that's my team, right? That's my team.
Not a lot of people had done that prior to. In fact, she stood out so much, other Bruins started to notice.
So it's kind of funny how it all happened. So I kind of knew because last year, Avery came before she transferred over to Oregon. She was the first to follow me because I had started editing her too. And then Kendall followed me, who transferred to Michigan. And she was liking them. And a couple days after, like, not a couple days, maybe like a couple weeks, I just know in one of the TikToks that Avery posted, there's like a clip of Lauren and Avery together, and they like asked me to make an edit of them.
Important announcement.
Okay, Katie, if you're listening, please make an edit of Avery and I with "We Are the People" by Empire of the Sun.
That part.
Thank you.
And then later on, I made an edit of O2, who's a scout player. On the team. Right now, he does the social media.
I actually saw an edit of myself on TikTok. This person goes by the name Katie or something. I'll put the edit right now. Yeah, I can't believe I have an edit. Hold on, let me be cool. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that actually inspired me to post. So thank you, Katie. This is because of you.
And he has a YouTube channel too, and he shouted me out in one of the videos. And I was like, oh shoot, they really do watch them.
Not only was Katie getting recognition from players like Avery Kane, Kendall Dudley, and Lauren Betts herself, she also started getting attention from one Michelle Betts, the mother of Lauren Betts.
Like I'm not on social media like I used to be. Like I'm not on there much, but sometimes I like to scroll through TikTok fun. And I think some of the edits are really cute and they're sweet and they're flattering. They take a lot of time. So I had been working so hard trying to collect to put together videos and pictures of Lauren. I wanted to do my own TikTok or video, but it was too much work and I couldn't do it. And I said, some of the clips I got tired of looking for clips. So I went to some of you guys' TikTok and got some clips.
Oh, I'm really making it in life.
Katie wasn't just a fan of Lauren Betts because she played for UCLA. She was a fan of Lauren Betts because Lauren Betts' story meant something to her.
I think with me and Lauren's impact on me, it goes well beyond her as a basketball player, like experiencing life. Like it comes with like depression. Like I have ADHD, so with ADHD comes anxiety, depression. And I mean, it got to a point where I didn't know what to do. I was pretty close to, and I mean, it's like you don't know what to do and like you feel like you can't talk to anybody. So it's like you do anything you can in your power to at least find something that you can like put something into. And for me, I found a person that I could kind of look towards, and it was Lauren. I mean, I discovered her senior year of high school, and then her Stanford year, like she really made a big impact on me, even though she wasn't getting a lot of minutes. I mean, just her as a person, like as a kid, I played basketball. I was always the tallest on the team. I was a pretty tall kid, and I was always the tallest in school. I was taller than all the boys, all the girls, and everybody would make fun of me for it. And I was like, well, she's pretty tall. I mean, I can just like I see myself in her, like she's tall. You know, and that's like why Lauren has such a big impact for me, is because she is basically the reason why I'm still on this earth.
As we get back to the I Want to Be Here article published by Lauren Betts herself, Lauren touched on the fact that her height became a major insecurity for her, something that her mother recognized at a very early age.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren was, a playful child, but we moved quite a lot when she was really little. Her dad was playing professional basketball throughout Europe. And so, she was always the tallest, always the foreigner, always the person who, was learning the language, wherever we were going. And so, I think, sometimes as a kid, it just made her self-conscious, I would say. That and, plus being really tall. It was just, I think all of that kind of shaped, her kind of who she is and how she thinks of herself.
For as much as Lauren Betts' height got to her mentally, it helped her tremendously on the basketball court. Slowly but surely, Lauren Betts started to realize just how good she was at the game of basketball.
And then we moved to the States. She tried swimming and then she did soccer. I was like, yeah, soccer is not your thing.
Not quite with the soccer.
Not quite her thing. She was really tall out there on the field. You know what I mean? You could already see like, wow, like she's a lot taller than so she tried soccer out, and one of the dads on the soccer team was like, hey, our daughter is going to be playing basketball. You should come try out. And she's like, sure, okay. I'm like, yeah, anything to get her into something. You want her doing something. And so we ended up getting her into on a basketball team there with like the Aurora Rec League.
But with being good at any sport comes increased interest. And with increased interest comes pressure.
I mean, I would say even, I think from her freshman year of high school all the way to that summer, that first summer with USA, you could see her starting to feel the pressure because, once you've got that label on you, you're number one in your class. Then, everybody has got an opinion all of a sudden, about like, oh, no, she's not. Or, I mean, she's just number one because she's tall or whatever. There was always a reason, but, it did bring a lot of extra attention. Being ranked is a blessing. But life would have been a lot easier for her had she not been ranked number one in their class, because being number one, it just puts you on some kind of mountain of like, this is supposed to be the standard. And then everybody gives everybody a chance to kind of pick at you, and that's what would happen.
She ended up being a commit to one Stanford University. But although she was a #1 recruit out of high school, although she had so many accolades to her name, although it seemed like things were going well for Lauren, turns out things were not.
So you could feel that it wasn't going to work out, and I just didn't think it was going to get any better. And so, you know, she just she really struggled there. You know, and there's things, I don't know, it was just so hard in every way for her, that I knew, I feel like I knew pretty early on that I don't know if this is gonna work.
Now we get a chance to see the big freshman, the #1 recruit in the country coming in, Lauren Betts for Stanford, number 51.
And tried to encourage her the best we could, to just hold her head up every day and get through it the best she could and fight through the season. But she really wasn't happy.
Lauren, the following year, not feeling comfortable with her situation at Stanford, would go on to transfer to UCLA. There at UCLA, Lauren felt better, but still things were not quite right.
No, I could see that, you know, I could see that when she first went there, when she first got to UCLA, there were so many things that were a ton better, that things instantly felt so much better. But you could see, you know, getting towards the middle of the season, you could see that there was just, that she was being really hard on herself and was succumbing to the pressure of it all, and or just not feeling, you know, maybe worthy, or, you know, like she wasn't doing all the things that she thought that she could do, or wasn't becoming who she thought she could become. I don't know. You could feel it. You could feel it talking to her, and, you know, as a mom who's like seen almost probably all of her games, I could see it watching her play. You know, I could tell that she just wasn't like in the best spot. So yeah, I think really, you know, her going to the hospital, I think it was all, people change, you can change overnight, like, but you look in the mirror and you still see the same person. Like, everything around you can change, but you, and the inside, right? Like, if you still see yourself as not worthy, not good enough, you know, like, I know I'm not as good as everybody says I'm supposed to be, or I'm not living up to the hype or whatever, then, you know, like, nobody can change that. So, you know, I think the move, you know, there was a lot of superficial things that were great right away, but deep down inside, she was still, you know, she still had some things that she had to get past. And I think it masked it, all the good things of being at UCLA. It masked some things that she still work on.
In 2024, Lauren Betts decided to take a step back from the UCLA basketball program and commit herself to a hospital to work on her mental health.
This one will be measured by everybody else on the outside by the end score, but it won't be measured that way for me. What Kiki and the rest of her teammates, what they showed from the inside out, you have no idea. And we have a phrase in our program that everybody at UCLA says champions are made here, but we say champions are made here from the inside out. And we showed a lot from the inside out. And credit to Washington State. They do such a good job, and they execute so well. Just a credit to who they are. They're a really good team, and I want to acknowledge that. And but I couldn't be prouder of the fight, heart, enthusiasm, togetherness, belief that my team showed.
You're extremely emotional about this one. What about this particular game and the stakes and is kind of like bringing out that kind of like emotion in you right now?
I think I got it. Okay, go ahead. As usual, covering for me.
It hasn't been an easy week for a lot of different reasons for everyone in this program, and I think just knowing how hard we fought to go out there today and give it our all, and how we just had each other's back, it meant a lot to everyone, and obviously it didn't come out the way we wanted it to, but I'm just so proud of all my teammates, my coaches, everyone in this program for being willing to go out there and give it our all.
Yeah, I think the reality for us is my ultimate goal and my ultimate job and responsibility is maybe to other people it's just to win games, but it's to teach, mentor, and equip and coach these young women's hearts. And there's just been some things that have been, it's more important. Bottom line. Bottom line. Bottom line. Bottom line.
It's been inspiring, I'm sure, for a lot of young basketball players out there to watch you play and how you handle yourself. But also, Lauren, recently, like you shared something that's very personal on Players Tribune about your battle with depression, which also could be inspiring to so many people. Why did you feel like this was the time to share that publicly?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always really amazing for little girls, and especially like in the sports world, to have someone that they can look up to and, read about, that they, with someone who's gone through maybe the same thing they have. And I just want to make sure that everyone feels like, they're seen and they're heard and they have someone to look up to. And I feel like it was nice for me to kind of share the growth that I've had since my sophomore year. And I think like just to see the reactions from everybody and how, so many people felt the same way as I have at some point, I think that validates, why I did it. And it's really just, to say that like us athletes, we're not just people who play basketball and, play the sport. It's, we're real people and we deal with real life things. And I wanted to use my platform to spread awareness around mental health, especially in the sports space.
This throws us back to the present day, because little did Lauren know that her story would not just be helping out her fellow athletes overcome the struggles of mental health, but also young women who looked up to her as well. As I stated before, Katie isn't just an ordinary UCLA fan, she's a super fan.
But there's Gabs.
There's Lauren and Sienna, there's Charlize, there's Lena, Deanna, Kiki, there's Lauren again, and then there's Angela and
O2.
Oh, you have to have the Legend of O2 up there too, right?
Yes, wish they do.
She needed to be there for her favorite player's senior night.
I had planned, I wanted to go to senior night ever since Kiki and Gab's freshman year. And, we didn't even have Lauren at the time. But I wanted to go because, like, they also had a special place in my heart. They're the reason I got into UCLA basketball. But then Lauren came to UCLA and I was like, oh, I got to go to senior night. And then so I asked my mom like around 2 years ago if we could go for their senior night. She was like, maybe. And so we went and it was so amazing.
So Katie walked by Lauren and Dad and I. We were sitting there and she walks by and I'm like looking at her Slam t-shirt that's got Lauren and Sienna on it. She's got like a violet colored one. And I'm like, man, that's the one I want. Like I've got a navy one, I've got a white one, but I really wanted that violet one. I'm like, I gotta get one of those. And I'm looking at, she looks kind of familiar.
I looked across the court and I saw nobody else but Michelle Betts. And I was like, oh my God, I dropped my Post-it note. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta go meet her. And I was like, Mom, at half, can I go meet her? She was like, no, that's kind of weird. And I was like, but Mom, it's Michelle Betts. I dropped my other Post-it note. And she was like, yeah, but you don't go up to people's family members like that. And I was like, but Mom, it's Michelle Betts. And then my mom actually went to the bathroom at halftime and asked my stepdad. I was like, are you sure I can't go over there just say hi, get a picture with her. He was like, yeah, I guess just go ahead and do it. Just do whatever you want.
And then I would say, I don't know, 40 minutes later, she walks up to us and she's like, my parents told me to leave you alone, but I gotta ask you, like, are you Lauren and Cena Betts' mom? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I just wanted to say hi. She was like, well, I'm Katie. And I'm like, Katie? She's like, yes, from TikTok. I'm like, you're Katie from TikTok?
And then we started talking, yada, yada, yada. Big conversation about how she appreciates what editors do now.
And I said, so what brings you, like, where do you live? And she's like, I'm in Virginia. And my parents flew me out here as a gift to me. And I'm like, what? All the way to L. Like, that is a really nice gift.
Yeah.
And so we're just chatting. And I can't remember how it went, but, at the end, I met her parents and they were really sweet and they really seemed like they didn't want to disturb us. And I was like, you're not disturbing us. And then when we had the alumni, the event after where the seniors got to speak and it was a more intimate setting, I was like, y'all stick with me and come up in here with me.
Come back here after the game and I'll let you get able to meet them.
And she's like, we can't do that. I'm like, oh yeah, you can. Like, you got to come in there, because I was just like, I can't imagine, like, if my parents as a little kid flew me out the present to see one of my heroes, I'm like, I got to help her make the day amazing. Like, this is so cool. So yeah, I took them back there with us. And she got to be there for the whole senior night.
And they went around and they let anybody who wanted to say something about the seniors could. And so I actually wasn't going to say anything. I was a little scared. Chicken. And so I just got up there and I talked about how Lauren's helped me. And then I talked about Char. Char helped me get through my knee injury, because I think she had hers probably like 3 or 4 weeks before mine. And, I just talked about how special the whole class was. And I talked about, like I said, I talked about how Lauren's mental health has helped me. And then after that, after the whole thing ended, Lauren came up to me and she said, I was doing fine and then you got up there and you made me cry. And I was like, there's no way. I made the Lauren Betts cry. And Michelle was right there too, and she was like, you made me cry too. It was so bad.
Out of the kindness of her heart, Michelle Betts saw a young woman that looked up to Lauren and had to help out.
It was so awesome. Honestly, I had the chills. I was so excited for her. She was like, thank you so much. This is like, you're making my day. I was like, you're making my day. It made me so happy to see her and her parents so happy. I was like, this is awesome. It might seem like you could do the smallest thing. The smallest act of kindness could be the biggest deal to somebody else.
So there's a song by Noah Kahan. I actually have an edit to Lauren by it, and it's Call Your Mom. And there's a specific lyric that goes, give yourself a reason. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. So, and I thought back then I was a little too nonchalant to journal. So I used to write letters to somebody that I would look up to. And so I never sent these letters, but these are letters about myself and my thoughts. And so I would address them to Lauren, but obviously they were never sent, and they were just talking about myself. So instead of journaling, like Dear Diary, it was just a Dear Lauren. And that's just like something like, that's one of the reasons why I'm literally still here.
Lauren Betts, in her article, stated that depression never really goes away. It sits with you. It's something that you constantly have to battle throughout your life, something that you navigate each and every single day.
She even said herself, it is still, it's a work in progress. She has a lot more confidence than she did before, but it's still, something that she has to strive for. She has to, I think, work to cut out the negative self-talk or the negative the negativity from whoever else. I think it's work for her, and I think always going to be work. It might feel like less work, over the years, but it's still something that she has to work at.
And yet, there can be joy found in moments, like the joy that you share with community.
Last year, her article came out about her struggles with mental health. And I mean, looking at her before as somebody that I looked up to, I mean, I couldn't see that she was struggling. It's pretty hard to see that somebody's struggling. Like, as an outsider, it's so hard. And I'm so happy that she was able to speak up about it.
Her saying anything about, yeah, me too. I've been in that terrible depression. I've been there too. Like, I know that means a lot to people. I know that people look at people online and on TV or in magazines and they're like, everything is perfect for them. I wish I could be like them. Everything is so perfect. And I think it's really important to tell these kids like that, you're real and you have feelings and you have hard times too. Like, it's very relatable. So it's just really important to me that she has this, that she is using her platform to help others. Like, I'm just so incredibly proud.
Like, she's my reason. So I think everybody, like, if you don't have a reason, you should get a reason. Like, because you belong.
Judging by Katie's story and the impact that Lauren has had on her, I'd say Lauren Betts is doing a pretty dang good job. I'm Andrea Richmond. Thank you so much for watching.